on a website or any kind of material that they could find on this subject matter, it'd be nice to let them know now.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can forward them the info. Do you guys want to post something that I can text to you or email to you within a day or something? I'll kind of set up a specific thing in case there's, a certain amount of emails or whatever.
Well, I'm certainly, if I get any people, asking questions, stuff, I'm more than happy will forward it to you, yes.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. That's fine, and I can give you my email at a different time if you'd like.
Well, I have your email. I have your email, so...
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, but if the listeners are hearing about it, and there'll obviously be some stuff that's triggered here and after this, and this took a long time to get some of this info out, and so, but no, if they can reach out to me, reach out to you. I'll get an email out there to you guys, and for sure, you have comments or you want to talk about Natalie, you want to hear some of the other stories about her, I'm all for it. I don't care if 30,000 people write me. I'd love to talk about her, and I hope what we did tonight gives you guys, like, just people, her fans, not her family. Her family's how many people? 30 people. It's not about, she was a public figure, right? And just like Marilyn and just other famous people, like we kind of attach to them in some way. So I hope I gave you some closure. I hope I gave you some info about what happened. And, like I said, it was a murder.
Yeah.
And everyone wants to solve those these days. So, yeah, I appreciate the ability and opportunity to do it.
Okay, Todd, our time is up. I want to thank you for coming on Night Dreams Talk Radio.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, guys.
And you have a good 2019.
Okay, thank you.
Night. I don't know, Michael. That's something, people have to make their own decisions. And, the law and stuff, you got to have proof. And without proof of somebody coming forward who was on that boat and coming forward and having the courage to say this is what they saw, you don't have any smoking gun there, I don't think, to really say that this person did it or not. Am I right?
Yeah, I think that would be a very good point in any kind of a trial. Any defense attorney is going to bring out the lack of evidence, a lot of circumstantial evidence, of course, but my goodness, there was detail in here in the story that Todd just told that I was not aware of. So it just kind of gets you thinking again, is what it does.
Yeah, and she was so famous. I just remember, the movies, and I do remember that movie after you mentioned that, that Christmas movie. I remember at the very end where her parents got that house from Santa Claus. And, her eyes, that's what she was very famous for, is her eyes. Anyway, we're going to have Ronald Farnham talking a lot of interesting things here in a minute. He was with the D.O.D. A lot of information he's going to tell you. Some of it might be far out. Some of it might be dead on. That is a decision you're going to have to make. We're going to go for like a 2-minute break here, and we'll be back right after this.
The views, opinions, and representations expressed on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network and its website are those of the hosts, guests, and participants, and are not necessarily those of or endorsed by the network, its affiliated stations and broadcasts, the management, other hosts, or advertisers of the network. The shows found on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network can, but do not necessarily, promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or condition or give any medical or legal advice.
You're listening to my friend Gary Anderson on Night Dreams Talk Radio, the best in paranormal radio.
Well, we only can try, John. We can only try. Hey, Ronald, how you doing?
Hey, Gary, happy new whatever year it is. I think they say it's 2019, so I guess we can just play along with that, right?
Well, it can't be any worse than 2018, right, Michael?
Oh, I tell you what, I think it's going to be very exciting with all the stuff that happened in 2018. Who knows what's going to happen here in the next few months even.
Well, I will say something in tonight's news. Yesterday, the head admiral for the Chinese Navy got up and said it's time that they take out a couple aircraft carriers to prove their point that they weren't going to tolerate any more of our ships going onto, well, their territory. What do you guys think about that one?
Well, I think that they've been planning this for a while now, and they're working on getting us ready for a major conflict. It looks like the global war on terror in the Middle East is wrapped up now, and you know how the U.S. of A Corporation is they love to get into war. It generates a lot of income for them, and so I guess the next front now is going to be start meddling in North Korea, and then China's going to get involved, and I think this is going to be one part of major catastrophe that we have coming up here in 2019, but it started a while ago. It started around 2012, but it's really picking up speed now, and it's culminating into something that is just devastating. I was doing research, Gary, you and I talked about these topics we were going to discuss, and I was preparing today, going over my notes and the research, and I had to kind of get up and walk away and go outside and take a walk. I was like, just upset. This information now that we're going to talk about is like so upsetting and critical. And I just think that we're at a point now where we're not just talking about what the issues are and what these problems are, but we're at a point where if we don't do something about what is happening, then we're in serious trouble that is probably beyond reverse without some type of, where we're just devastated and it takes hundreds of thousands of years for us to get back to where we are. I'm just looking at a total collapse for the human species.
Well, we got 2018 really set us up for 2019. We got some serious shit. It's about ready to go down. The tariffs that our president put on, I could see his point, but I couldn't see his point the way he handled it. But the tariffs has caused a lot of hurt to people on the street. It's just not hurting big businesses, hurting the average person. It's taking money out of their pocketbook, and they're still not realizing it. It's going to really start hitting home shortly. A lot of small businesses right now that depend on importing parts because we don't make electronic parts in this country anymore. So they import all this stuff. They have to pay more for it. Well, you know what? They raise their prices or they go out of business. Like I mentioned on my show in the past, there was a company on the East Coast, a small company. He employed, I think, under like 90 people. They made TVs yet in the United States. I thought Curtis Mathis was the last company back about 15, 20 years ago that made TVs that quit, making anything in this country. Well, you know what? They're no longer around. I stop at my local auto parts store. The guy owns a chain of them. And he says, that he imports a lot of Chinese parts. They come in, and the average person, like, they replace their calipers. That's the thing that your brake pads go on and slow your car down. It's like $89 to $100 for average American car for a replacement. They're made in China. Well, American version is around $400 and some dollars. So what's the average person going to buy? They're going to buy the Chinese one. Let's face it. So He's saying now he's having a hard time getting them. When he gets them, the prices are higher. So it's affecting the pocketbooks of the average person. So now we're going to start seeing job losses coming up here this year. I see that it's one step closer to putting us in a recession. A major recession. Look what happened to the stock market the other day and what's going to probably happen tomorrow.
Yeah. Not only a major recession, but actually really a deeper recession, because from what I'm seeing out on the street and just from talking to people and seeing it visibly out there on the road while I drive around and I look at closed businesses and empty homes and people on the street and stores, that have no people going into them because they can't afford to shop. We're in a recession already that is deepening. And you were just talking about electronic devices. These smart devices are coming in from other countries that are working with the NSA to put backdoor ports into them so that we can be basically put under surveillance and jobs. When we get into what the 5G stuff and the smart meter stuff that we're going to talk about and the surveillance that's going on, it's going to cripple the job market even further, and it's going to devastate the planet and every living soul on Earth, and it's just horrible. And so we're going to go with, we got a war brewing, we have a major economic depression that is unfolding and deepening, and we are being literally systematically exterminated, not just us, every living thing in this Earth domain. And the government or these corporations posing as governments are doing this with full awareness of what the technology that they're putting out is doing to us, and it's horrifying. And we have to do something about it. We're almost beyond the point of no return. And I don't know, I have some solutions that I'm going to talk about, but it takes action. The people can't just sit here and listen to what we're talking about. You have to walk away from this show tonight with a to-do list and some, it's a call to action. It's a real call to action.
Well, it's way worse than people thought. For years, people knew if they typed the wrong stuff, right, when they were sending emails out, or maybe if they said the wrong thing on the phone, they might get monitored. They got to realize, too, you go out and buy a smart TV, right? You think you're safe with a smart TV or your laptop sitting in your room or your phone, and it doesn't have to be turned on. Actually, a while back, guess who Samsung got nailed because they had a device in one of their phones that was actually built into the battery. So where they could, get you. I mean, what are they doing with this information? Why do they need the information, what you're talking in your living room or what you might be talking about with your cell phone in your pocket to your friend next to you? What is they do? They're building cases up on every person in this country. In case something ever happens, they can sit there and say, okay, this person doesn't fit into our agenda. I don't know.